Welcome back to the Motorcycle Garage. Back the way. Today we're going to try and focus on a few things. Oh, not that. Sorry, that's disgusting. Side panel. One side panel is done. And we want to see how we can make it fit. Got a few different ideas for that. So we're focusing on that, and then whilst we're focusing on that, we'll be focusing on multiple things. So this is a new mold that I've made, and it's a split mold. It is an optimization of previous design. Feels a lot more rigid. I'm a lot more rigid. Feels a lot more rigid. The reason it's got some filler in it is because there was a few bits I wasn't happy with. But this here is for the left-hand side panel. So based off the last video I'd made, there was this here. I planned to reuse the mold that I had made, but it went to the fiberglass gods. Not with my hammer this time. Actually just got torn to pieces when trying to release that mold. So a few helpful comments saying, why don't you try a split mold? And I thought that's a good idea. So I redesigned it. You can see on the screen. Kind of redesigned it to use way less time to print, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more infill material and everything else. So got a good feeling about this. Hopefully it's going to work okay. So all I've done here is a little bit of surface prep. I've got loads of holes. I don't actually think I need it. It's got a really nice hold already just with these 6-7 bolts that are in place. But I've just threaded one side of this, and yeah, it's just held together. So yeah, today initially focus on prepping this, getting it sanded down, getting rid of all the excess filler. Then we'll put some of this shit in it again. PVA mold release. We'll make up some fiberglass, and we'll let that cure. And while that's curing, we'll have a look at this here. So before, I'm probably just going to run it all as a metal montage. There's a cool new song that I've made that my friend and I from years ago, a guy I used to be in a band with, yeah, we wrote this song years and years and years ago, and I was like, oh god, I'm doing a lot more with my music now, let me try and make this the way I want it to. So that'll be on in a little bit. Hope you enjoy it. Before we do that, I just quickly want to show you how I plan on making this fit. So I'll try and zoom in a little bit. Actually, got the GoPro. Hello, Mr. GoPro. Right, so if you look here, we've got our battery box, and oh, for fuck's sake. Record! Why the fuck is this not working? God damn it! Ugh! Ugh! I haven't even had a beer yet. Yeah. So if we look at this, so it kind of, right now it sticks out too far. I don't want it to stick out that far. I want it to sit in a little bit further than that. But also, I don't want to go and have to weld tabs on this frame, because I think that will ruin the look. So I need to find the point that doesn't, you can't really see it that well because the angles and everything, but this does fit nicely in the middle here. This camera isn't showing it that well, but I designed it so that it is even around all the sides. Just the camera doesn't show that right now for whatever reason. So, sorry, I know who's feeling sick reading this, watching this. I need to try and make this fit somehow, and I'm thinking try and mount it to the battery box. So you get, if we bring this back over here, you get fiberglass fixings. I might just 3D print some, but you get fiberglass fixings that pretty much allow you to fiberglass in studs at some points. I don't know what I'm going to do for the bottom yet, but my thoughts are, if I, hello there, Mr. Camera, focus on this one. If I get weld a couple of bits onto the side of the battery box, with a channel that allows me to kind of and get a nice tight fit around there, and then the same on the bottom. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do in the bottom. If I figure out the top sides first, it'll be easier. So I'll probably take the battery box out, and God, the lighting's all over the shop with this GoPro. I'll take the battery box out for, I'll do a lot of measuring. That's probably what you're going to see me doing. I'm afraid I'm probably not going to talk about much of it because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. It's not going to be like, this is the way you need to mount this. This is going to be a solution that I might come up with. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works out alright. If you like my hat, this is from Fluxco. A guy, Marty McFly on YouTube? Not from Back to the Future. He's got a little side company called Fluxco, and I wish I had some more of the stuff, but he sent me a nice little care package a few weeks ago with like, I think there's a helmet, glove holster, and like just a nice key ring and everything else, but this hat was on one of the cool things that I got. But the reason I'm wearing a hat in my furry garage is because it's snowing right now, and it's almost the middle of April, so thank you, Scotland. So, let's get Metal Montage kicked off, and you'll see me doing some bits and bobs, and we'll catch up with you in about 3 or so minutes. Yay! Alright guys, it's a new day. I kind of abandoned, well, two things. I had to refill some bits with more filler just because I wasn't happy with how it was looking. But also, whilst I was doing that, I was working on mounting this, and I guess I mentioned yesterday I was thinking about cutting some bits and then using little outrigger bits to mount this to. I guess like that. But then I quickly realised that's not really going to work either, purely because if we get this set up nicely. Have a look here. It's just I've not really got much room to bite onto. So I need to have a wee think as to how this is going to look. I've got a few ideas. Luckily, well, I was hoping this would be the final piece, but I've ended up having to print another mould or whatever then for the right hand side, because that one obviously was sacrificed. So, yeah, I don't really know. I've got a few ideas, but I need to go and see whether something exists or whether I'm going to have to make something. But this is quite custom, right? It's not as if no one's ever done this before, but with this being quite a deep panel and everything else, I don't think I'd even if I did go down the route of wanting to attach it to the frame, I don't think it makes much difference because it's quite a deep panel. I'd have to stick stuff right against this surface, which is fine. I don't know, it's all a bit fluid and up in the air at the moment, so I'm just going to prep this tonight and then get some more fiberglass in it, and whilst that's curing overnight I'll have another think about how we can approach this. So next time you see this, it will be fiberglass. I'm not going to record that again just because, yeah, who cares? It's wrestling around with fiberglass. To the Indian out earlier. What a machine. What a powerhouse. It's an awesome bike. If anyone ever gets a chance to throw your leg over one, I seriously recommend you do it. People that are obsessed with super bikes may not find it as fast or anything, but I think as like a muscle bike, it's pretty impressive, pretty good fun. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with this. Got a few calls and stuff later on tonight, so I'm just gonna try and do this quickly before I head in, and then we'll, next time I see you, we'll be demoulding this and hopefully have a solution for this, trying to mount this as well, so fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm gonna let you in on a little confession. My fibreglass roller stopped working and just started pushing loads of shit around, so it made this, putting this in, very difficult. Quite a complex shape as well, it's got really tight curves in it. I think it would actually be better suited to use some of that fibreglass. This is quite thick, so it's not got much. You get that fibreglass cloth, that kind of adheres to these kind of curves a little bit better. Why the hell is it? Looks a bit. There we go. So I don't know. We're going to demold this nonetheless. Hopefully the mold's reusable. I might make another one. But for the purposes of this video, and not actually getting anywhere further forward in this bike, let's go demold! Yay! So, I mean, the mold's technically survived. Technically. There seemed to be a little crack here, but it's hell of a stuck. I don't know whether all my dicking around with my fiberglass in. I mean, I've got a side panel, so worst case. That's not set properly. This might go in the bin and start again. See, there's some little air pockets as well. I don't know. That's been sat overnight, so plenty of time to cure. This had like 5-6 coats of wax on it, several coats of PVA release agent, but for whatever reason, maybe my filler, maybe my car body filler hasn't reacted very well. I don't know. I've got a bit. I'm not going to throw it in the bin yet. We'll see how it looks. But that split mold definitely worked better. But they're still not strong enough, so I'm liking the fact I can print the profiles. I've got like a bit between my teeth now. It's not necessarily even about I just kind of want to refine this process so I can use it going forward. For example, if on my next build, if I want to build a nice cafe seat hump, 3D printing offers quite a good solution, but not if my molds can't be strong enough that I can get a bit rough with them. That's definitely a lot stronger. It's whether or not I'm willing to make the sacrifice to print something for 2.5 days for it to be a solid part, or make it out of pt5 or another material. So I don't know. As for the mounting, I'm not really sure either. I think I need to go back to the drawing board with the mounting. It's not as straightforward as I would like. Man, this has turned into an absolute saga. Also, I can have some kind of side panels that look like other side panels but aren't the same, because they're mine and I've designed them. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm just a little bit, I'm not pissed off. It's all a learning experience, but I would have thought that would have been a little better. I think what I might do is order some fiberglass cloth and some new rollers, because that really wasn't very good at all. I'll have a little look at this mold to see if it's still serviceable. I think it is, to be honest. I might even coat the inside of the mold with epoxy and see if I can get a really smooth finish. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound at this stage. So if I coat it with epoxy, then I've got a really smooth surface. Yeah, I think I might try that. Just a few thin coats. See how it sets up. It's -1 here today, so it's not the best temperature to be doing that, but I think I will anyway. And then we can have a look next episode and see what it looks like. So I know I promised you at the start of this episode I was going to mount these things as well, but I'm just going to be scrambling around in the dark, which isn't really going to be very beneficial to anyone looking to understand how to do this. So leave it with me and I shall come back and have a look at this. We're getting there. Oh, show you this, it's pretty cool. I managed to reprint my front panel. Oh, try to break it. So it now matches the angle and sits perpendicular. I've managed to 3D print a couple of mounting points as well, so I can get mounted in. So pretty happy with that. It turned out pretty good. Managed to print a yoke, but for whatever reason my measuring skills weren't the best that day. However, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to change the bottom yoke as well. So this is only an issue if anyone ever decides to change a top yoke and not a bottom yoke, because I can't measure properly. So I have two options. I can either reprint this with the correct spacing, which in an ideal world probably makes sense because it's not going to throw out the geometry or anything on the bike. But for the purposes of planning, if you look here, I don't know how well you can see this. A bit more light here. If you look here, I've kind of designed this yoke so that it's not going to match up to that, but the profiles are the same. So you kind of, I don't know if you can see that because I'm in the way. But anyway, the curve here on the bottom is the same as the curve on the top, so it kind of just all kind of frames it nicely. So quite like that. So I need to design a bottom yoke to look similar, but obviously thicker because it's got more duty to, I guess, contain the forces of the suspension and the steering inputs and everything else. So I've already got design. It's not finalised yet. Once that's done, I need to start focusing on the stem and everything else, and what tolerance fit and everything, and speak nicely to Gus, who can maybe machine me a new stem that will press fit into the new bottom yoke. But sort of just looking at this part, it actually looks alright. It may not all be lost yet. We'll let it set and sit for another few hours and see how it looks. Let me sit for another few hours. So I've just been rambling. Next few episodes. So get this sorted. Get this 100%. Get this sorted. I'm not gonna just keep jumping around. I need to get this finished. Indicators have been 3D printed. I may have had to sacrifice one for some reason, but they have been 3D printed. And they hold these things now nicely, so they look good as well. Again, not final design, still need to change one little bit in it, but after that they will fit nicely in here. So we'll do a little episode on that. This is obviously from the Scrambler, it's just sitting here at the moment. Mudguard, I'm going to chop up my mudguard as per Cobra Builder Darren's advice, and just use that as a mould instead, use the inside of that as a mould. So that should be a nice little episode. I'm thinking out loud here for me as well. Figure out how to mount the mudguard, so use the existing points here. Front panel, get that sorted. Front mudguard probably needs to be looked at. I'm going to get my carbs cerakoted, so I need to rip them down. I'm probably going to tear them down this week. I don't know if anyone actually wants a video on that. They're a very specific carb. It's not really going to be that interesting. The interesting bit's going to be when Gus ceramic coats them and I rebuild them. However, I can easily do a quick time lapse of the strip down. So, and then the exhaust is almost done. It just needs the tips. Just needs the tip put on it. So, yeah, this I'm giving you a bit of a general update. Once that's sorted, fibreglass seat base. Fibreglass seat base needs to be made. Once everything else is back in place. Once we've got this bit on here for the quick release seat. Once that's done, I think we wouldn't be far off stripping it down. So only another 6 or 7 weeks worth of intense work before we can strip it down. Nah, it shouldn't be too bad. I think I'm due to go offshore in the next 2-3 weeks, which means I'll start my wonky rotation. So it means more time spent on the bikes when I'm back. I can just come out here and do this all day. But it means there'll be a bit of a hiatus between videos potentially, and I'm not sure how internet access is going to be for uploading videos. So yeah, plenty to do. Once it starts moving, it will move quick. I'm already feeling the benefit of having the 3D printer. I can just kind of print something and off we go. So hopefully we can rescue this mold. Hopefully we can figure out how to mount these goddamn side panels. If you've got any ideas, let me know. Bearing in mind I want to try and keep this area free. I want to mount it off the inside. I've got a few ideas. I'll probably post them on my Instagram, try and get some feedback potentially from other builders who've done this before, and then go from there. So take it easy, guys. I'm not as raging as I look. I'm actually feeling alright. I'm kind of glad I managed to get that without breaking that thing. So take it easy. Like, comment, subscribe, all that other fun stuff, and I shall catch you in the new video. See you later, guys.